The battle around Convoys HX 229 and SC 122 occurred during March 1943 in the Battle of the Atlantic, and was the largest convoy battle of World War II. British merchant shipping was formed into convoys for protection against German submarine attack. Kriegsmarine tactics against convoys employed multiple submarine wolf-pack tactics in nearly simultaneous surface attacks at night. Patrolling aircraft restricted the ability of submarines to converge on convoys during daylight. The North Atlantic winters offered the longest periods of darkness to conceal surface submarine operations. The winter of 1942–43 saw the largest number of submarines deployed to the mid-Atlantic before comprehensive anti-submarine aircraft patrols could be extended into that area. During March, there was a series of fierce convoy battles which became, for the Allies, the crisis point of the whole campaign. 100 merchant ships in trade convoys HX 229 and SC 122 encountered 3 wolf packs of 38 submarines in a single sprawling action, which German radio reported as the greatest convoy battle of all time. A Royal Navy report later concluded the Germans never came so near to disrupting communications between the New World and the Old as in the first 20 days of March 1943. Convoy Sc 122. SC 122 was a slow eastbound convoy of 60 ships, routed from New York to Liverpool. It sailed on 5 March 1943, protected at first by 1 destroyer and 5 corvettes of the Western Local Escort Force. On 6 March, off Cape Cod, 2 ships put back to New York due to heavy weather, and on 8 March, another 6 abandoned the crossing and put into Halifax. The convoy pressed on, changing escorts on 13 March off Cape Race. The Western Local Group left, after the Mid-Ocean Escort Force B-5 Escort Group joined from St. John's. B-5 Escort Group consisted of 8 warships, led by Commander R.C. Boyle and the destroyer HMS Havelock, the destroyer US Upshur, the River-class frigate HMS Swale, the Flower-class corvettes Buttercup, Godetia, Lavender, Pimpernel and Saxifrage, and a trawler as rescue vessel. Convoy HX 229. HX 229 was also eastbound and sailed from New York on 8 March, with 40 ships and the local escort. A further 34 ships which should have been included were delayed due to congestion at New York. They sailed the following day as HX 229A. The first few days of the convoy were uneventful. HX 229 met its mid-ocean escort force on 14 March and the local escort departed. The ocean escort was B-4 Escort Group from St. John's, of 4 destroyers and a corvette. It was led on this occasion by Commander G.J. Luther of HMS Volunteer, as its regular leader was in dock for repairs. Luther had recently joined the group and this was only his second crossing. The other ships of B-4 were the destroyers HMS Beverly, Mansfield, and Witherington and the corvette Anemone. Although Witherington had to detach on 15 March, to be replaced by the corvette Pennywort for the crossing. Wolf packs. Arrayed against him were 3 patrol lines of U-boats. Raubgraf, of 8 boats, was already formed. Having just been involved in a battle with HX 228, it was sent to patrol off east of Newfoundland, at the western edge of the air gap. Sturmer, a new group of 18 boats, was to form up in the middle of the air gap. It was formed from boats from Patrol Group Westmark, which had previously engaged SC 121. A further group, Dranger, of 11 boats formed to the east of Sturmer. Some of these boats were from Newland, which had also been in the battle with HX 228, the rest were newcomers. The The German BD's Signals Intelligence Group had given notice of an eastbound convoy and by 8 p.m. on 13 March had a location for SC-122. Admiral Karl Donitz, commanding the U-boat fleet, directed Raubgraf to intercept, forming a new rate to the west. A westerly gale gave speed to SC-122, which passed through Raubgraf's patrol area on the morning of 15 March, just 24 hours before the patrol line was formed. The Allied ultra-intelligence, which decrypted German messages and ciphered using the Enigma machine and which had helped the Admiralty to divert convoys away from wolf packs, had been blinded on 10 March 1943 as the result of the Germans bringing in a new short weather report. This resulted in the British code breakers being starved of the cribs necessary to break Shark, the cipher used by the German U-boats. The U-boat tracking room at the Admiralty Operational Intelligence Center was therefore unable to divert convoys around the U-boat packs. Fortunately, a message from a U-boat gave away its position once that position had been fixed by DF, and the Convoy SC-122 was diverted around the estimated danger area. The Allied cipher number 3 used by the convoy escorts had been broken by the Germans. This allowed them to position wolf packs in the way of HX-229, which was following a similar course. It passed through Raubgraf's rake in the night of 15-16 March without being sighted because of bad weather. On the morning of 16 March, U-653, which had detached from Raubgraf to return to base with mechanical problems, sighted HX-229 heading east and sent a sighting report. Donitz immediately ordered Raubgraf to pursue and intercept, while Sturmer and Dranger were ordered west to form a line ahead of the convoy. He saw in this an opportunity to attack an eastbound convoy, full of war materials bound for Europe, with the full width of the air gap to cross. Raubgraf caught up with HX-229 on the evening of 16 March and mounted an attack that night. 3 ships were sunken, another 5 on the morning of 17 March, a total of 8 in just 8 hours. The escort was reported to be weak, as 2 ships had dropped out to pick up survivors. The escorts chased 3 contacts during the night but with no result. During the rest of the day, boats from Sturme began to arrive. One of these was attacked by a destroyer but again without success. At the northeastern end of Sturmer's rake, German submarine U-338 had sighted SC-122 heading east, about 120 miles from HX-229's position. After sending a sighting report, she attacked, sinking 4 ships in quick succession. A 5th, Fort Cedar Lake, was damaged, to be sunk later in the day. 2 more ships from HX-229 were lost during the day. 2 boats from Sturmer were able to penetrate the defenses about midday on 17 March, but the escorts were able to fend off any further attacks. Assisted by brief visits from very long-range aircraft flying at extreme range, SC-122 was also able to resist further attacks until evening. During the night of 17-18 March, the attack on both convoys, now just 70 miles apart, continued. U-338 sank the freighter Granville of SC-122 in the evening, surviving a fierce counter-attack by escorts. And after midnight, U-305 sank 2 more ships. HX-229's escort suffered a blow as HMS Mansfield was forced to detach during the night of 17-18 March. Help was on its way in the form of the destroyer HMS Highlander, under Commander E.C.L. Day, arriving on the 18th of March. Day, as a senior and more experienced officer, took command of B-4 Group for the rest of the engagement. Also en route from Havalfjord, in Iceland, were the destroyers HMS Vimy and Babbitt for HX-229, and the U.S. Coast Guard cutter USCGC Ingham for SC-122. SC-122. These were dispatched on the morning of the 18th of March, and arrived the following day. On the afternoon of the 18th of March, U-221 succeeded in sinking 2 ships of HX-229, but further losses were avoided. HMS Highlander joined that afternoon, a welcome addition as B-4 was by this time reduced to 5 ships. During the night of 18-19 March, the two convoys were running in tandem, though sailing independently. All attacks on both convoys were repelled this night, and 6 firm contacts were attacked but little damage was inflicted. One ship from HX-229 was lost, a romper which broke away to proceed independently. This ship, Matthew Luckenbach, ran into the melee around SC-122 and was torpedoed, to be sunk later on the 19th of March. A straggler from SC-122, Clarissa Radcliffe, was also lost, disappearing without trace. On the 19th of March, the escorts were reinforced by the arrival of Amy and Babbitt for HX-229, and Ingham for SC-122. HX-229 was also joined by the corvette HMS Abelia, detached from another convoy. Also on the 19th of March, U-384 was attacked by air patrol to the north of SC-122 and sunk. There were no further losses to the convoys that day. Faced with stiffening resistance and sensing nothing further would be achieved without disproportionate losses, Donitz called off the assault. The convoys continued east. Further changes to the escort occurred on the 20th of March as reinforcement arrived in the form of the destroyer HMS Sherbrooke, while Upshur and Ingham were detached. The local escort groups met on the 23rd of March, and HX-229, with 27 ships surviving, arrived at Liverpool on the 23rd of March. SC-122, with 42 remaining ships, arrived later the same day. Outcome: the double battle had involved 90 merchant ships and 16 escort ships. 22 merchant ships were sunk, a loss of 146,000 tons. More than 300 merchant seamen died. In total, 38 U-boats had taken part. 1 U-boat had been lost with all hands. This was the largest convoy battle of the Atlantic campaign. A Royal Navy report later concluded, "It appeared possible that we should not be able to regard convoy as an effective system of defense." Losses: Allied ships HX-229, SC-122 U-boats. Bibliography: Haig, Arnold. The Allied Convoy System 1939–1945. Its Organization, Defense, and Operation. Annapolis: Naval Institute Press. ISBN 1-55750-0193. Alan Byrne. The Fighting Commodores. The Convoy Commanders in the Second World War. Naval Institute Press. ISBN 9781557502834, 262 pages. Kemp, Paul. U-boats destroyed. German submarine losses in World Wars. Annapolis: Naval Institute Press. ISBN 1-55750-8593. Middlebrook, Martin. Convoy. New York: Viking Press. OCLC 641,970,843. Niesel, Axel. German U-boat losses during World War II. Details of destruction. Barnsley. Greenhill Books. ISBN 1-85367-352-8. Roskell, Stephen. The War at Sea 1939–1945. 2. The Period of Balance. London. HMS OCLC 59,620,954. Rower, Jurgen. The Critical Convoy Battles of March 1943. The Battle for HX-229, SC-122. Annapolis: Naval Institute Press. ISBN 0-87021-818-2. Van der Vat, Dan. The Atlantic Campaign. World War II's Great Struggle at Sea. New York, Harper & Row. ISBN 0-340-37751-8.